The biggest thing that I think I have not done correctly is mentoring, the students that came after us. I mean, back then we were very active as a group, very, very active. I don't see the University of Washington students as active as we were, back then. And I think we have to, take responsibility for that as leaders in the community and as members of our community. We're not working, we're not providing that mentoring, we're not providing, that push in terms of what the student's responsibility is. And so I think that the students now are not as organized or not as aggressive as we were back then. Of course, it's a different time. It's a little different.
Well, what advice would you give, I guess, young people, especially machistas, in the Chicano movement today?
Well, the advice is that that the batalla is not done. I mean, we still got a long ways to do. I mean, the fight is not over, and that the students need to take education serious. No doubt about it. You need to take it serious, and you need to get your degrees, and you need to get your profession. But you need to remember that you can't forget, where you came from, and that your responsibility is to be a responsible member of the community, regardless of what you end up doing. Because we need lawyers, we need doctors, we need businessmen and women, we need architects, we need everything. But once you're done and once you're out, don't just look at you and your family. You got to look at the broader community, be concerned about the broader community, and you have to reach out. You have to bend over, extend your hand, and bring the people that are coming behind us. Because unlike other communities, our farm worker community never dies. And some professions die. Some professions die, but the farm worker community hasn't, it's forever. Because there's always need for farm workers. And they're always the poorest of the poor. And so you'll always find kids that don't have the opportunity that other kids have. As you move away from the farm worker community, your kids don't have to experience that, and so they have a better shot at making it. But there's a lot of children that need a helping hand because because they come from farm worker children, and the parents can't help them. And so what happens in this country is that people migrate from Mexico, they end up working in the farm, and so there's 1 or 2 generations, and then eventually the kids get an education and they move away from the farm work. But they get replaced by another group, and so the farm working community is always being replaced, and so it always existed, and so always exists. And so what we need is our Chicano students that are graduating and going to the profession to be always thinking about them, and be willing to participate in giving them a helping hand.